Hey everybody, welcome back to my Flosstube channel. I know I am a little bit late than what I anticipated to do. I was wanting to get one done last weekend and life just didn't work out that way. I've got a lot to share today. Got a lot of stitch in progress done over the last little bit. Got some life updates, and if you're tuning in today, you may be coming over because I announced that I was going to tell you my opossum story. So stay tuned for that at the end of the stitching. I'm going to jump straight into stitching since some of you guys may be here for the sake of seeing the stitching. So if you're new here, welcome. I am Kylie. I am Sew What Stitcher, and I'm happy that you're here today. If you guys are returning, thanks so much. You know I love my stitching community, and if you're new, I hope that you'll consider coming back, subscribing, all that good stuff, and visiting with me again soon. So starting off with stitching, I'm going to start off with my Mira. That has been the one that I think I have got the most done on. My goal for this one was 33 hours. I honestly have not tracked it. I have worked probably about half of that, I would say. But I am going to try to get a little bit in over this weekend and this next week and kind of track it a little bit more. If I had to estimate, I'd say that I've probably stitched about 15 hours on it, 15 to 20 hours. So I'm going to try to get another 10 hours in on it this week and see where I end up. So here is where I've got on it. And I see a lot of progress because I know how much time it's took the stitch. I'll put this over here and I'll try to put a picture of it before I started on it. But this piece is so confetti heavy. There is, I mean, that's what makes it so beautiful, is that there's small amounts that make everything blend so well. But it's like 3 and 4 stitches of this color here, 6 and 7 here. It's not big portions. Some of the reds getting down into the bottom of the flag have been pretty big, but for the most part it's little pieces. So I have had to keep multiple needles going. I did this because I was camping and I didn't have everything that I normally have. So like these are all of the colors that was in one little area, and so I would stitch with it, trade needles, have to go back to that color. So it's quite an involved piece. That's why it doesn't go as fast as I wish that it did. I really enjoy stitching on it. The fabric is beautiful. I guess I ought to give you the details. So this is Mirabilia Lady of the Flag. I'm doing the green conversion. I am stitching it on 14 count. I got it in the back, hang on. I'll show you the tag, that's what I'm trying to get. If you've been here a bunch, you probably already know this, but it's the Constitution by the Primitive Hair, and I'm stitching it on 14 count. I got mine at Barefoot Needle Art. A lot of people have asked where I've got the Ada version. That's where I got it. I don't know if it was what's the word I'm looking for? If it was a limited thing that they did. I don't know if they offer it all the time. I'm not sure. But the gals at Barefoot Needle Art will be able to tell you about it a little bit better. Bear with me. I'm trying to get my folder back in here so that nothing falls out. I need a bigger project bag for this one. My project bag is way too small for all this fabric and colors and folder and all that good stuff. So the next one is a model stitch that I'm doing for Barefoot Needle Art. I will be taking a class down there. I'm going to show you that soon. So I will be having this done. So I got to get this one stitched up this week and next week. It is, the name of the pattern is Wings of Change by Silver Creek Samplers. I'll just flash it really quick. I can't show you the pattern because I don't have the picture. I am stitching this on Sea Mist 28 count Lugana by Barefoot Needle Art. And this one, unlike the other one, does stitch pretty quick. There's not a lot of color changes. So down into this leaf, so there will be a lot of, sorry it's not ironed, but there'll be a lot of progress go with this one. So let me get a little closer. And then the only thing that I lack is the stem up to the dandelion and the butterfly on it. this one back up. So work on this one this week and get it finished up and ready to deliver to them when I go take the class down there. Okay, the next one is my series that I'm doing. This is Little House Needleworks Log Cabin Christmas. This is kind of a sketch, the artwork. You can't really tell too many details of what it's going to look like, but it is a 9-part series. One comes out every month. And so I have got 3 of the patterns. I just got the 3rd one in the mail not long ago. But so this is the first one. And I'm almost through with it. I'll show it to you in just a second. This is Log Cabin Squirrel. And I thought I put the other 2 in here, but I did not. I bought the thread pack from Barefoot Needle Art that would do all 9 of the squares. So I like that. I'm stitching it on 28 count Lagana Sandy Toes by Barefoot Needle Art. I like, if you notice the recurring theme of everything from Barefoot Needle Art, I really like that I can call them up and I can say, this is what I see in here. A lot of the stuff is stitched on linen or whatever, and instead of me going and hunting, I just tell the girls, hey, can you get me something that's kind of similar to that you think would look good? They send me a picture with some options and then they ship it to me, and everything is so quick, it's seamless, it doesn't take a lot on my part, don't take me researching. So I really like that. So here is, I'm almost done with that square, working up here on the roof portion, and then I've just got to go back and put the bird here and finish this and the little snowflakes here and there, and I'm done. I'll be on to the next portion. This really does stitch up quick. I've just not had enough stitching time like I wanted to. This was the piece that when I went to my lunch break, I sit in my car and stitched on, and work has been crazy. I've not been able to really have a lunch hour, so I've not got to stitch on that one as much as I want to. I will show you the other 2 of these on my next video because they're upstairs. The next one is a new start. I just got a fairly tiny little start. This is one that I started last week, the week before. We ended up going on a camping trip for a week with my parents, and so I love this one. Happy Campers by the Blue Flower. Super cute. Love it. I haven't decided if I'm going to stitch the whole thing or if I'm just going to stitch the top part. I haven't made a decision yet, but I am stepping out of my comfort zone and stitching this 1/1, and I'm doing half stitches because it's just too thick. I'm doing two fabric threads over 1 and only doing half stitches, and a very tiny little start. I haven't stitched on it really enough to know if I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm liking the experience of trying something new. So oh, here's one of those. Here's one of the other Log Cabin Needleworks. It's Log Cabin Bunnies. That's the other one in that series. And then I've got one more. I don't even think I've opened it yet. But that's part of that series. The next one is my class piece. I'm going to Barefoot Needle Art on June the 11th. It's on a Tuesday for a class. And this is a hands-on design piece. Toes in the Sand. And here's what it's going to look like. Super cute. And so we're going to be learning how to finish it. Get to visit with Kathy, so that will be really fun. It did come as a kit, so it came with the fabric, the piece of fabric. It came with the floss already sorted out for you, so that was fun. And I started out hot and heavy on this one and was getting a lot of progress, and then I kind of stalled. So this is where I've got so far. Again, I'm going to be focused on this one this week. I have to have it done and ready for the class. So this has really not took me that much time to stitch. I just, again, need to have time to sit down and stitch and get it done. And I kind of told you my plans as we went. I need to get that model stitch finished up. I need to get my class piece finished up. I want to get some more hours in my Mira for Mira May, and to be stitching along with my friend for her birthday. So got all of that done. I did have a tiny little bit of haul. That one pattern that I told you that I had on auto. I love to go to thrift shops and just look around. So I went one day, and I always walk through the craft section because I have found great big bags of DMC for like $3. And so I always hit those up. So I went to my local local thrift store. It was a Yokefella store. And there was this great big piece of Aida. It's white Aida. It's a 17 by 60, and they had it marked for $1.25. There was 2 pieces. So 2 pieces, and they were $1.25 each. So I get to the front, and I'm checking out, and it is half off day. So I got both of these pieces for $1.25. So they're kind of stiff. I think they're 14 count Aida, possibly 16 count. I'll have to get my thing out and measure. But that's a good bit of Aida. So I'll be using that for something. There's no yellow discoloration to it. So it was just laying there. And so I was happy to have got that. The next place that I went to was, I love to go to Salvation Army stores. And I always look for stuff that people have cross-stitch. I've shared on my channel before a great big win piece that I had found. It was really cheap. So there was this piece, and it was $4.99. And it is a tray. It's a really nice tray. And it says, wishing you butterfly mornings and wildflower afternoons. So I left this sticker on there so you guys could see it was $4.99. But I set this on my lap and put my work container, my scissors and stuff, and stitch with it. And this was, I thought it had an initial, but it doesn't. I just like knowing that I'm appreciating somebody else's work. And I thought that was super cute. My only other thing that I purchased is I did purchase a tablet to be able to highlight my stitching as I did it, instead of keeping a highlighter out. I've always been afraid that the highlighter would break or leak and get on my cross stitch, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, which is really good. So that is kind of all my stitchy goodness. I know it's kind of quick. Again, I've told you life's been crazy. I'm kind of going to go into that segment next. But as for plans, I've kind of told you that already. June, I will start stitching my stuff for, I'm thinking, bear with me. The Sugar Cookies Cricut Collection piece, I'll be starting in June. I am starting the Primrose Cottage Stitches 4th of July Rules Sal with Barefoot Needle Art. That is starting Memorial Day, which is Monday. And yeah, so that's it. I have decided what I'm going to do is kind of make a spinner wheel, the app, and put all of my cross stitch projects on it. And every day I'm going to come down for an hour, spin the wheel, and just start working on some different projects. I miss my projects. I forget what I have. The variety, I ended up going and buying more stuff. I've like put myself in a whip timeout, like no more new starts. If I finish something, I can start something new, but I've got so many whips. I've got to get them done. So yeah, I love cross stitch and I want to stitch everything, and there's just not enough time. All right, into the next part. So it's kind of like a little bit about life progress. So the last couple of weeks have been really busy with work. I am preparing for a management role. So I'm taking a lot of classes. I'm getting a lot of mentorship, all that stuff. I'm really excited for the opportunity and grateful for the opportunity, but it's required a lot of my time. I've got classes in amongst trying to do my normal work stuff every day. Been studying for more securities exams and my after hours from home, just trying to take my career to the next level. If you don't really know, my husband will be able to retire in about 2 years, and I've been at home with the kids most of the time, or been in school getting my education. So this is really my opportunity to be able to get out and grow my career and kind of do some stuff that I want to do. My kids are getting older now. My husband's going to be able to be home. So I'm excited about it, but with that comes more responsibility. And so it's going to be a lot more, of course, getting ready for it, getting trained for the position and everything. But I'm really excited. I'll get to have a staff that I'm building and working with and mentoring people. And then I get to travel to different places. Like there's a trip coming up. And so they fly me there. They pay for my hotel there. So it's right up my alley. I'm really excited about it. However, like life is still going on, so me trying to juggle all that stuff and, you know, taking kids to dentist appointments, and then my husband, he went to the dermatologist about a year ago, and they flagged some places they wanted to look at, and he ended up going back, and they done a small scrape biopsy of it, and it come back, it did need to be removed, so he had to have it took off, and got a bunch of stitches in his back. It's right on his spine, so obviously that has kind of put us down a little bit, him being able to lift and do things. And then at the same time, my oldest son, who is 18, almost 18, he'll be 18 in December, he is really impatient, and so we were trying to move some furniture up on our big deck, and he strained and had a hernia in his groin, and then we went camping and he helped pick up a picnic table, and it just really irritated it, so we've had to have an ultrasound. We've been to the surgeon, had to go, you know, wait on a CT to be done, so possibly looking at surgery there. So just a lot went on, and I will peep in here and say, you guys who have won something and who have contacted me, I've been in touch with some of you, kind of letting you know what's going on, but thank you for your patience. I will have those out. I meant to have got up this morning and done it. The post office got closed before I could, and it's closed on Monday, but I will mail that out on Tuesday morning on my way into the office, so that will be on its way to you next week. So thank you so much for your patience. If you have not yet contacted me, I'm going to be gracious and give you guys another chance to contact me, but the next Flosstube, I will go ahead and put that in circulation and get it out there. So that's kind of life updates. And then in other news, my opossum story. So let me back up. It's been probably a month and a half, almost 2 months ago. I had to go to Charlotte for an appointment, was coming back, got a screw in my tire, and had drove to my local tire guy. He put my tires on. He will fix my tires for me at no cost. So I made it back, and I was on my way into work, and there was a little tiny baby possum ran out in front of my car, and I slammed on my brakes, got to look, and there was a mama that was laying on the side of the road dead. So I went up the road, a 4-lane highway, turned around, went back, parked, had my hazard lights. Now I'm in my full professional suit for work, got high heels on. I pull over where I think I'm going to pick this baby possum up, put my flashers on, get out, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to put this possum in. So I get to looking, and I have got a box of copier paper. You know, it's got 3 things of copier paper in it. And so I take the copier paper out. It has a lid on it, which is good. I get to scrounge around, look. My daddy had gave me some terry towels to wash my car with, so I take a couple of them terry towels and put them in the box. Go over to pick up this one possum and look, and there are possums everywhere. So I start picking them up, putting them in the box. At this point, I don't know what they have. I don't know what they carry. I didn't know anything about them. So I'm using a towel to pick up possums. And some of them were in the grass. Some of them were still holding on to mom. So I get them all picked up, go back and sit in my car, and I notice the grass is moving. Go back. There's more possums in the grass. So I ended up rescuing 9 baby possums. So I'm sitting on the side of the road, clearly did not think this out. I was just saving a baby possum. So I go to Googling and looking and found a rehabber that will accept opossums to, you know, take care of them. So I call them, and I have to tell them about them, send them pictures, all this stuff. End up taking them to the rehabber. Well, I got talking to her. She tells me about them, how useful they are, how good they are. I fell in love with them. So in the state of North Carolina, in order to have them, it's illegal to have them without a license. So I had to go through the process of getting my license, and I'm an apprentice for a year. I'm studying under somebody else who's teaching me to take care of them. But while I am an apprentice, I can have baby opossums, bunnies, and squirrels. So long story short, she's had the 9 babies, and she gets me trained. I go through training. Opossums are very unique. I could go for hours now that I love them so much, but basically till they learn to lap, they have to be tube fed because of how their mama's chemistry and anatomy and all that stuff is. So learned how to tube feed baby opossums. And so we ended up getting a batch of 7 in. They were a little bit older. They weren't going to have to be tube fed while I was learning to take care of them. So that was my first batch. It wasn't the ones that I had rescued. It was a different batch. So they're with me, been with me for several weeks now. The last time that I weighed them was 2 weeks ago, and they were ranging between 3/4 of a pound and a pound, so they have really grown. They're probably now about 1.5 pounds. Everybody wants to know how long do I keep them, so they have to reach a certain length without their tail, so from their snout to the base of where their tail starts, and they have to be about 2 to 3 pounds. So I'll keep raising them. They're fixing to go out into an outside cage to get used to the outside and the sounds and all that stuff. And then as they grow, they'll just be able to be released. And I do live in the country. I live in the middle of 8 acres. We've got a creek near us, so it's a lot of healthy place for them to be able to grow up. But since then, I have also ended up getting 2 single possums that were found in the mouth of either a dog or a cat. So I have 2 more single babies, so they're each in their own cage. And then my original possums that I had rescued got old enough to be able to lap, and so they don't need to be tube fed. So I got 3 of those because they have to be divided out, or if they get overcrowded, they'll eat each other's tails. So much I can tell you about opossums, but I'm going to put some pictures in here so that you can see them. They're super cute. If you don't know anything about them, let me just kind of tell you something, because I hope that now you will kind of respect the creatures. They are North America's only marsupial. They have their babies and they're about the size of a bumblebee. The moms will have about 20 babies, and then the mom will lay down, and then those tiny little bumblebee babies have to climb into the mother's pouch. And the mother only has space for 13, so the rest of those babies will end up passing away. And they stay in their mama's pouch for about 4 months, and then they'll come out and ride around on her back. And as they get bigger, they'll fall off throughout the land and be able to take care of themselves. They eat 2,000 to 5,000 ticks per season each, so they're really helpful there. They eat insects, they'll eat frogs, amphibians, tons of insects. Snakes, they do not, venomous snakes can't hurt them, so they will eat copperheads, cottonmouths, poisonous water moccasins off of your land. And the reason that they're around the road is they help clean up roadkill. They have a really high need for calcium, so they like to eat bones. So they really help keep our environment clean. They help us get rid of these things that we don't necessarily like. And they are extremely resistant to rabies. Their body temperature is too low. The animal would have to be sick and running a fever for the rabies vaccine to actually take. So if you see one, they really put on a show to scare you. They typically, unless there's something wrong with them, they will not charge after you in any way. Like, they're not aggressive like that. If you scare them, they will growl at you, and they open up their big mouth of teeth and they will drool. They'll put on a presentation, and if they get scared too much, they will fall over like they're dead, but they're literally stunned. They are not of their own doing it. It's kind of like their body's mechanism, and they'll release a smell that makes you think that they're dead. You just leave them alone and go on their way. So if one comes on your property, kind of some of the things that you can do is, first of all, just give it space, respect it. You know, they're scary and they growl and they hiss and all that good stuff, but they don't want to bother you. They just want you for you to leave them alone. You can either just don't put any kind of cat food or any kind of food out. If you've got fruit trees in your yard or rodents or a lot of bugs, they're going to be around until they clean that up, and then they'll leave. But if you really want to help it, you can put out cat food for them. That really helps. Some veggies, not very much fruit. It's bad for them. So again, I just kind of raising awareness. They kind of popped into my life unexpectedly, and I love my little creatures. So I'll also put in a video here of them eating. They smack like crazy. They're so cute. But that's my opossum. Story. So if you come from my opossum story, now you know the details. You just don't know what you're going to get into around here. So anyway, thanks for tuning in again for another week. just come on back next week because you never know what I'm going to get into. I will definitely share updates of the opossums. A lot of people have really got attached to them and like seeing the pictures of them. So it's really cool. I had some folks that donated and supported them. So it's fun. I love it. I actually joined my local rehab here. It's a nonprofit to be able to help take care of them. So a lot of fun. My boys are older now. They don't need their mama. So I need a little baby or two to take care of. So all right, guys, have a good one. I hope you're getting all kinds of stitchiness done, and I hope to be able to run into you at some events soon. Bye-bye.